Something doesn't add up. We're told inflation is cooling. Yet millions of people still feel like they're falling behind. Groceries, gas, insurance, housing. The prices may not be rising as fast as they were a few years ago, but for many families, relief never really arrived. And now, a new warning sign is appearing. One that economists, markets, and governments around the world are watching very closely. Because if this trend continues, the cost of everyday life could become even more expensive. To understand why, we need to follow a chain reaction that starts thousands of miles away and ends in places like your grocery store, your gas station, and your monthly budget. The answer starts with energy. Almost everything in the modern economy depends on energy. Food has to be transported, products have to be manufactured, packages have to be delivered, workers have to commute. When energy becomes more expensive, those costs ripple through the entire system. Recently, global energy prices have risen sharply because of growing instability in the Middle East. Economists and central banks around the world are now watching closely because higher energy prices have historically led to higher inflation. This isn't the first time we've seen this pattern. In the 1970s, oil shocks triggered years of inflation. Energy prices surged. Businesses raised prices. Consumers felt the squeeze. Today, the situation is different, but the mechanism is remarkably similar. When fuel costs rise, transportation becomes more expensive. When transportation becomes more expensive, many everyday products eventually become more expensive too. The effect isn't immediate, but it often spreads throughout the economy over time. What makes today's situation unique is that households are already under pressure. Housing remains expensive. Mortgage rates remain elevated. Insurance costs continue to rise. Many families are still adjusting to the inflation surge of the past few years. That means even a relatively small increase in prices can feel much larger, not because inflation is at record highs, but because people have less room in their budgets. The margin for error has become smaller. Does this mean another major inflation crisis is guaranteed? No, but it does mean something important. The economy is more connected than most people realize. A conflict thousands of miles away, a spike in energy prices, a disruption in global supply chains. All of these events can eventually affect everyday life. And that's why understanding the system matters, because the biggest economic changes often begin long before most people notice them.